What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this one we got the Michigan vs UNLV preview. Gonna be going over everything you guys need to know about both Michigan and UNLV, and also what to expect from both teams in this game. We also got some injury updates for Michigan players, including Rod Moore and Will Johnson, and I also go over my score predictions and also what I expect to see from Michigan in this game. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so number 2, Michigan hosts UNLV for the second game of the season. Kickoff is 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it'll be on CBS. Now, this will be the second matchup between Michigan and UNLV in the matchup history. The first game between the two came in 2015, and Michigan obviously beat them. They beat them 28-7. That is the only match between the two, and that was Jim Harbaugh's second win as the head coach of Michigan football. That was just 8 years ago, and now they meet again for a second time. Both of them are 1-0 heading into this one. Michigan, they beat East Carolina last week 30-3, and UNLV beat Bryant 44-14. Now right now the spread is Michigan 36.5, and according to the matchup predictor on ESPN, Michigan has a 98.5% chance to win. UNLV just a 1.5% chance to win. So we're going to talk about injuries for Michigan later in the video, also what I want to see from them and keys to this game. But I want to talk about UNLV a little bit. Now UNLV, they beat Bryant 44-14 in a blowout. However, Bryant is an FCS school. They play in the Big South, so UNLV, should have beaten Bryant like that. Now, as you look at the team stats of the game, both Bryant and UNLV had 409 yards in the game. So UNLV's defense gave up 409 yards to Bryant, 230 passing yards, and 179 were rushing yards. Bryant did throw an interception. UNLV, on the other hand, they had 126 passing yards and 283 rushing yards. They grounded and pounded the ball against them, and they only had two turnovers, 1 fumble lost, and 1 interception thrown. The starting quarterback for UNLV should be Doug Brumfield. He went 11 for 18, 86 yards, and threw an interception, and really all their offense was their rushing attack. Vincent Davis had 3 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown, and then the quarterback, Doug Brumfield, he rushed 7 times for 71 yards, and he did have a rushing touchdown. No passing touchdowns, though. And then Donovan Lester had 8 carries, 29 yards, and a touchdown. And Jaden Thomas with 8 carries, 60 yards, and 2 touchdowns. As far as receiving goes, the only receiver that really had a good game for them was Jacob De Jesus with 4 receptions and 50 yards. Now, one familiar face you guys might know is Ricky White, the former Michigan State wide receiver who had 196 yards and a touchdown in the 2020 win over Michigan. He was catching jump balls all over the place. It was a terrible game for the Michigan defense that day. So they have Ricky White as a wide receiver. That's a little overview on UNLV. Their defense doesn't look too special. Michigan should be able to basically do whatever they want against them. Now UNLV's coach, the first year coach for UNLV, Barry Odom, talking about Michigan, he said, if they've got a weakness, I haven't found it yet. He said that Monday, so safe to say he hasn't found a weakness yet. But according to the Michigan Insider, he said how he might defend Michigan. He said they're explosive on offense. Obviously, they've got the skill and the scheme to stress you in every area: run game, pass game, play action, moving the pocket, quarterback, run game. They do it all, and they do it at a very, very high level. He did say we've got to be good against the run. We can't allow there to be chunky yardage in the run game and through the air. But again, he said if they've got a weakness, I haven't found it yet. They are a really solid and a great team. So obviously that brings up, my keys to the game for Michigan and what I want to see from Michigan in this one against UNLV. First of all, it's the rushing game and the offensive line. East Carolina, they did a good job of stacking the box, blitzing, stopping Michigan's run game. They did not let Michigan rush all over them. Look at their stats, and they only had 122 rushing yards against them. And Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, they barely got over 100 yards together. Corum with 73 yards and a touchdown, and Donovan Edwards with 37 yards. So that's definitely something I want to see. I want to see the offensive line get some gaps open for Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, and maybe we can see, some long, deep runs from Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. The offensive line didn't really live up to the hype in game one. They did an okay job. They can definitely do a lot better though. And even Miles Hinton, the transfer from Stanford, offensive lineman now for Michigan, he said that he definitely did not play like he practices. He was moving his feet a lot. He just wasn't there. He wasn't right mentally. So, I'm sure they all know that they can get a lot better, and hopefully we see a lot better from them in the UNLV game. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to see from Michigan. Jay Harbaugh will obviously be the first half interim head coach for Michigan, and then Mike Hart will be the second half interim head coach for Michigan. So obviously no Jim Harbaugh again. Sharon Moore will be back calling plays now for Michigan as their offensive coordinator, so that should help the offense a little bit. But Kirk Campbell did do a phenomenal job in the first game calling plays for the offense, and obviously Jim Harbaugh will hopefully see the defense of Michigan, as he said that Monday in a press conference, that there's no defense, there's no offense, it's a defense right now for Michigan. Everybody playing together, sticking up for each other. But that's the main thing. I do expect our defense to shut down UNLV and maybe potentially get a shutout this time. And obviously, hopefully, we see Roman Wilson absolutely go off and JJ McCarthy perform even better than he did in week one, even though he broke records in the first game of the season. But now I want to talk about some injuries for Michigan. They were obviously without Will Johnson and Rod Moore. Makari Page did play, so that was phenomenal. But it is just minor injuries for all these players. And Steve Klingscale said to the media that both Will Johnson and Rod Moore, they are getting closer and closer every day. He said, I kind of stay out of the training room with them, so when they're out there on the field, I'm coaching them. But he said yesterday they both practiced, and that was awesome. I think they're getting closer and closer every day. And he said it's not to rush them back. Make sure they're comfortable, because he said if you rush a guy back too fast, it can really set them back a little bit. So we may get to see Will Johnson and Rod Moore for a little bit tomorrow, but I wouldn't expect them to play too much. So yeah, that's the update on Will Johnson and Rod Moore. Hopefully we get to see him Saturday. As far as the wide receivers go, Tyler Morris and Darius Clemens have obviously both been injured. We saw Darius Clemens, he was limping off the field. Tyler Morris didn't play at all, but Harbaugh did say a couple weeks ago that Tyler Morris should be good to go by week 2, if not week 1. We obviously didn't get to see him in week 1, so hopefully he's good to go this week. But like I said, I'm sure they're not going to push anybody, and they'll probably just see him for a little bit. So those are the injury updates. And now time to end this video on some score predictions. Let me know in the comment section down below what your guys' score predictions are. Mine, I think I'm going to go Michigan 45, UNLV 7. Let me know your guys' in the comment section. But other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.